We've got a whole lot to look at on the show this morning. Actions still trailing what happened to Super Eagles and the results from the African Nations qualifiers and other stories on the show this morning. But we'll be starting from a table tennis story this morning, and I've got a usual okay, let me look a perfect gentleman on the show this morning. Wilfred Shondo, welcome to 360 Sport on Trust TV.
Good morning, Mr. Fasha. A nearly perfect gentleman, not really.
Okay, nearly. Okay. All right, let's begin from this particular story. Table tennis right now, where President Ahmed Bola Tinubu has held the election of Oshodi, that is Wahid Oshodi, as the president of African Table Tennis Federation, as a very laudable moment for Nigeria and Nigerian sport indeed. Oshodi was unanimously elected as the president of that is African Table Tennis Federation right there in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. That was yesterday. He took over from Egypt's Khalid El Salhi, that is Khalid El Salhi, who's an Egyptian. And now I think the president actually saw this and he was happy for a Nigerian. This guy has been holding on to power since 2010. So since 2010 to 2024, that is 14 years.
Yeah. Very big congratulations to our very own Oshodi, and to the tennis federation. I think it's a very wonderful one, because if there's one sport that has really put the name of Nigeria on the global map in the past few years has been table tennis, because of the likes of Aruna Quadri. So now having the governing body appointed as a Nigerian as as the principal of the federation,
the African Tennis Federation.
I think it's a very good one. I think that should be an additional motivation to to the aspiring upcoming table tennis stars, to now know that yes, now anywhere we go, the name of our country is already on the map, and we have already had the administrative recognition to the highest level. So I think it's a very wonderful one for both the African continent and also Nigeria as well.
Okay, a very good one for the African continent and Nigeria as well, because I think this is going to bring a lot of development into the sports in Nigeria for getting Wahid Oshodi as the African Tennis Federation president. And we are happy because this indeed is a laudable one, and the president of Nigeria, that is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, actually held that election, and we are happy. We want to see signs of good team come for table tennis. All right, let's leave a table tennis story. Yes, reactions still through this incident. We know what happened on Monday in Libya to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. It has really not been what it's not what we expected, and is not good for the sport on the continent of Africa, and then in the eyes of football fans in the world. Before we actually talk about that, this morning, let's take this report from Deni Ajishafe concerning it and the reactions of Nigerians towards that particular incident. Let's take that report and we will be right back to talk about that incident with the Super Eagles and then the Libyan authorities.
The Super Eagles are back to Nigeria after the 13 hours harrowing experience they had at Al Barak Airport in Libya for the second leg of AFCON 2025 qualifiers. Super Eagles left Nigeria for Libya on Sunday to prosecute the second leg of the double-header, only to be diverted to another location 150 miles away from the venue of the match, with no available livelihood to cater for their needs. However, the ordeal faced by the Nigerian Football Federation delegation to Libya has drawn attention across the globe as Confederation of African Football (CAF) opens investigation on the situation to unravel the whole scenario. Nigerians have reacted to the harsh conditions that the men's senior national team experienced in Libya.
The ordeal that Super Eagles went through in Libya was uncalled for. It's a kind of like a retaliation, according to them, that when they arrived in Nigeria sometime to have a friendly match with us, they mistakenly admitted and arrived in where is it, Port Harcourt, instead of Akwa Ibom, where they are supposed to. Maybe, to me, I feel like they just want to retaliate. Maybe they have us in mind, but it's quite inhuman for them to treat Super Eagles the way they did. And moreover, it's a friendly match, which football unites people all over the world. So what they did is uncalled for, and it's totally unacceptable to CAF. So I oblige the CAF to take action towards that, to see that justice prevail over the actions.
They don't treat us well. It's very bad, because they treat us very bad. They kept Nigeria people at the airport for good 12 hours, which is very wrong. And when then they came to us, we normally accept people with Nigeria. But people don't appreciate us, because even us, we don't know what we are doing. Due to the situation of Nigeria, everybody has seen what is happening. So that's just the small little thing I have. We don't have any cooperation now. There's no even love. So when we will not love ourselves, so other countries will not accept us.
More reactions trade the Libyan hostile treatment of Super Eagles.
They are not fair to us. I know that Libya, they have been disrespectful to us for a very long time. And it's time for CAF to look into this matter. They shouldn't go unpunished. I mean the Libyans, they shouldn't go unpunished. A lot of people are saying what we did to them when they came to Nigeria to play, that they came to Nigeria and we treated them somehow. And they were saying a lot of things concerning the way we treat them. They travel from Port Harcourt to Akwa Ibom or something like that with through the road instead of through the air. But those people, they are very cunning and cheeky as well. So that is all I have to say. I think CAF should look into it.
And the entire world awaits the outcome of CAF's investigation and verdict. That's Sport News. I'm Adeniyi Ajishafe.
Yes, you heard from that report, and we've seen even the president reacted to this. That is President of Nigeria, and we also saw the House Committee on Sports also coming out to react to this particular incident. And we heard the Minister of Foreign Affairs, all they did to make sure that the Super Eagles came back to the country. Wilfred, before I will go further, I'll ask you some other question. What is your take on this whole scenario?
Incidentally, I foresaw this coming. I said it, on the day of our, home encounter against the Knights of Libya, and and unfortunately, I know no one is apportioning this blame also to the NFF, who also serves as a governing body and the father figure to our national team football. You see, football is it's a game of love, and if truly it's a game of love, then where is the humanity without love? Where is the love? Okay, the Libyans were here. They complained of the similar incident, which the NFA came out to debunk the rumor as first. We understand, but this should have also served, as an awareness to them of what was going to be, the return or the reverse of the ugly incident, as the Libyans claim, So, in the end, of course, I heard that there are a lot of news making, going around the space now that the Confederation of African Football, which is CAF, has already slammed a fine of $10 million on the Libyan Football Federation, also banned them for to play home games till 2026. I don't know how authentic and how true, is the rumor or the news anyway. But I mean, we are Africans, and at all times we should be our brother's keeper. They were here, no matter what must have transpired or had happened. I mean, you don't pay evil, with evil, even though we didn't really see, because it was just a matter of miscommunications and some little kind of mix-up, which was quickly resolved, and they had their way to Akwa Ibom, the venue of the match. They played, and they got what they played for. So
I love that statement. They actually got what they played for.
Yeah, receiving Super Eagles in their homeland and then treating them, it's, for me, it's completely unacceptable, unsportsmanlike, condemnable, and completely inhuman. So, well, it's not up for me and you to take the decision, but I think CAF should not just be compared because of the inhuman treatment that the Super Eagles receive, but this is something that should also serve as a deterrent to the rest of the African, nations who are, willing to indulge into such an ugly act. Because for me, it was completely, unacceptable, and I feel, more should be done for African football, to be respected, all over the world.
Okay, now, there one incident that they claimed, I love what NFF did. They actually came out and gave a clear picture. Now, in my own perspective, it is their own doing. They were scheduled to land in Uyo. They decided to land in Port Harcourt. Let's assume, okay, fine, all this went on. Coming down to your place, they went too far. Now, this is not the first time the Libyan authorities will be doing this. Remember in 2021-2022 season, anybody have similar experience? They were left in the airport for hours, and after that, when they eventually got the opportunity to go and use the stadium for their own training, the floodlight of the stadium was switched off. It was now the players' phone light and what have you. They use that for training. They just have to use that light, find their way out of the stadium. Now, this has been going for too long. CAF has kept quiet. What should CAF do? Let's to Libya as it stands right now. Unconfirmed reports coming in that CAF has done this. Until CAF makes a statement to that effect, then before we can know, okay, yes, this is what CAF. But if we want to look at it, what kind of punishment do you think CAF should just at least come up with?
Well, I do not have a clear idea, or an idea rather, on what the penalty involved in the in the act CAF
will do.
Oh yeah. So I don't know, but they should come out clearly to tell the public that this is what the punishment is. And let it be visible that everybody sees, and the rest of the African nations should see it, and then that should also serve, as I said earlier, as a deterrent to them to deviate from the indulging into such an act subsequently, because it's quite unfortunate that this is not just about Nigeria and Libya. This is not just about Africa, but it has already gone globally. And then I wonder how we're going to earn respect if we treat our own fellow Africans this way.
Okay, now we have Franklin Umar to join us on the show this morning. Franklin, welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. We are looking at the Super Eagles Libyan Ordeal. They are back in the country. We are happy for that, that they are back in Nigeria. But we're still looking at these. We'll look at the Nigerians reacted on that video, on that report we saw with Adeni Ajishafe. Now, from your own end, let's hear your take and from the whole scenario that happened in Libya.
Well, first of all, a very good morning to you. It's amazing joining you on your platform of sports on TV. Okay, quickly, let's get to the crux of the discussion, and that's the ordeal of the Super Eagles against Libya. I, for one, as sports journalist that have covered the Super Eagles for over 7 years, I will say this is absolutely unacceptable in the world of sport and for African football in general. And that we saw the Super Eagles en route to Benghazi, Libya, on Sunday, and for no reason, quite explained by the Libyan authority, the aircraft was diverted to Al-Abraq, to land there, and it is believed that the Al-Abraq airport is a domestic airport with no provision for luxury, no provision for rest, no provision for safety precautions. None of those things was actually arranged for the Super Eagles. So the Super Eagles touching down Libya at that airport was absolutely the grace of God. Now, coming back to the old scenario, what were the reasons the Libyan FA gave? No reason whatsoever. The reason wasn't acceptable by football players. I mean, international stars, Nigerian heroes, Nigerian properties to be treated in this manner. It is absolutely unacceptable. We are talking about the country that has the current African Footballer of the Year. The country, by my own judgment, will produce the next African Footballer of the Year. The country that is ranked number 6 in Africa and the finalist of the just concluded AFCON that was held in Cote d'Ivoire. We do not deserve this treatment at all. Now, coming back to what Libya did under the CAF statutory constitution, did the Libyans provided logistics for the Super Eagles? The answer is no.
No.
Was there a pre-information, a 7-hour information to the pilot and the traveling crew of the Super Eagles before touching down Benghazi? The answer is no. These guys, they are on risk. These guys, they are on air. They were actually on flight when the aircraft was diverted. That is wrong. Their life at the moment is in danger. Now, coming back to the hotel, was there provision for those guys to at least rest for, according to the FIFA status, 30 minutes? There was no provision. There was no bus. There was no food. There was no water. And they were locked inside the Al-Abad airport for 12 solid hours. And nobody was talking to them. The internet, from the reports we heard, was shut down. These guys could not communicate to the Nigerian Football Federation and to the sports ministry in Nigeria. What kind of football is this? I expect CAF to go back to the constitution and dig deep and punish the other party, in this case, the Libyan authority, for this inhumane treatment to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Perfect inclusion for the Super Eagles. They have decided to pull out of the game, and as we are converting the Super Eagles of Nigeria, they are currently in Nigeria. This is the kind of action we want.
Okay, this is what we actually want. You heard from Frankly Imona, who is saying CAF should go back, look inward, and then come out with a stiffer penalty. Now, the North Africans are corporate, not just Libya alone. We know how North Africans are when it comes to football. We've seen how, if we want to still go back memory lane, the same Enyimba in 2003, 2004, when they won the CAF Champions League in the hands of Ismail of Egypt. We know what Enyimba went through. Now, what is going on with the North Africans when it comes to football? Is it that they love football more than any other person on the continent? Or, I don't know.
I think there's also a law that covers the Confederation of African football governing body and the system. So one thing we should ask CAF now is what act does this incident violate?
Okay.
Yeah. So and what is the penalty for it? And if there's no act that it violates, but we all know that what they did is actually completely, out of this planet. It is completely inhuman. It's completely unsportsmanlike. So they should come out clearly. Has any statement been published or made on any of their social media handles? This is what we should be asking. For me, I don't think. Even though there's still news,
it's a rumor until they come out.
Yeah, there's still rumor, all over the place. But then they have to come out and make a public statement for everyone, every football-loving African, to read, to see that they are highly against what has happened. They're not in support of it, and it's condemnable. Yes, these things will never stop because the North African things are known. The North African things are known for this act. In the Confederation Cup, they did it against the Champions League, and so if they do not come out clearly, if the Confederation of African Football do not come out clearly, to condemn this, then I don't think they are passing a good message, not just to Nigerians, not just to Africans, but also to the entire world concerning football. Okay, concerning football, CAF has to just take a very big stand on this particular issue. I just made mention of Enyimba, who suffered. A lot of Nigerian clubs and outside Nigerian clubs suffered this fate. Al-Ali Benghazi of Libya did that too, Enyimba. So let's see what CAF will do, despite unconfirmed report flying around right now. But until CAF comes out to say, okay, this is the punishment for Libya and what have you, and then we'll still be looking at this. We'll be following it closely. We'll be looking at what CAF will do. Still talking about the African Cup of Nations qualifier. Despite the Super Eagles were not in action yesterday because that game was scheduled to be played yesterday in Libya.
but that game was not up. But the other teams, the other two teams in the group, actually engaged in their own game. The story right now is that the Super Eagles still remain top of Group D, despite Rwanda's win against Benin Republic. Imona, I will come to you. Super Eagles, despite they did not even kick a ball, they still remain at the top of Group D with 7 points. Frank, are you there? Oh, please unmute your audio so that we can hear you. Okay. When we can hear you, we'll come back.
Okay. The game between Rwanda and Benin Republic was a beauty to behold.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I can hear you.
Go ahead.
Okay. The game between Rwanda and the citizens of Benin Republic was a delight to see. Actually saw that game, or a glimpse of it, and it was really interesting. For the fact that Rwanda lost the first game, the 3-0. It was Rwanda who came out gun blazing in the return leg when they defeated Benin Republic, and that made the group absolutely interesting. So the Super Eagles still topping with 7 points following 2 wins and a draw. It would have been qualification for the Super Eagles if the game against Libya actually went on, and the Super Eagles wins that game. Would have been done and dusted for the Super Eagles. But all in all, it is now the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Rwanda, and Benin Republic for the qualification ticket. As for me, based on statistics, based on the games that have been played so far, based on the results, the Super Eagles look destined to qualify from that group and finish at top of the table. While for Libya, they'll have to try another round of talking about another year of qualifying for the AFCON. For Rwanda, it's a good one. It's going to be a fight to the finish, both for Benin Republic, coached by our own former coach, Genet Raw, and Rwanda, who is also a team that should not be pushed aside, even though we have the second leg to play with them right here in Nigeria. It looks like the Super Eagles is good to go following the result between Rwanda and Benin Republic. I, for one, I love the result. It will still put the Super Eagles on top of their toes to grind the result in the next encounter.
Okay, somebody actually say when eventually this game will be played, we should spell Libya with goals. Libya. That is 5 letters. So we should score 5+ goals.
Unfortunately, football is not mathematics where 1 + 1 always, gives you 2. But as I said, the incident is still, it will leave a lasting trauma,
yes,
psychologically and emotionally on the players. And when the match is finally rescheduled, I mean, we should really give them what they deserve, because and I'm sure it will not be played in their home if CAF wants to be fed, to
yes,
the entire,
with what has gone,
with what has actually happened, and to avoid the repeat of the ugly incident. I mean, they should make a neutral, venue for the game, and then let's see how the Super Eagles will come out to, to pay them in another way, because sometimes some fight you don't confront it back, with physical, but also, you
have to do it on the pitch.
Yeah, systematically, and then which we will be on the pitch of play, and we show them the class which Nigeria as a country is made up of.
Okay, all right. For the Libyans, well, we are also hearing that they want to take up the matter. They want to charge Super Eagles to court. They want to drag the matter to court of arbitration or whatever. But though the CAF disciplinary committee is involved right now, they are investigating the matter. Like we said, unconfirmed reports flying around, but until CAF comes out with their own conclusion of the investigation, then we will know what it is, what CAF will do. They have to go back to their statute, they have to go back to their rules and regulation, what kind of penalty will be meted out to any country, any team found wanting of this kind of action. 12 hours without food, no water in Al-Bak Stadium airport. An airport, somebody say it's an abandoned airport, because if that airport was really in use, well, I don't think that kind of situation would happen, but it is what it is. Despite with that ugly incident, we still have teams, like I said, engaged in action. The teams played yesterday, and already we have we will take the result, and then when we come back, after the result, we'll now look at the 8 teams that have qualified already for AFCON. If Super Eagles had played that game yesterday and they won, then we should be among the teams that would have already qualified for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. But please, let's quickly look at the results of games that were played, and then we'll come back to look at the 8 teams. All right, in Group A, we have Comoros and Tunisia playing a 1-1 draw. Lesotho lost to Gabon 2-0, while Central African Republic also lost to Morocco 4-0. That is in Group B. In Group C, we have Botswana who picked Cape Verde 1-0. Mauritania lost at home to Egypt 1-0. That is in Group C. Then in Group D, let's look at Group D, where the Super Eagles of Nigeria would have also been in action. Benin Republic, Rwanda, I beg your pardon, it's a mix-up, lost that game 2-1 to Rwanda at home. That is the home ground of Rwanda. And then Sudan, Ghana's issue continues, worries continue. They lost to Sudan 2-0, while Angola pipped Niger Republic 1-0. And then in Group G, we have Chad, who lost to Zambia 1-0, and Sierra Leone beat African champions, the defending champions, Ivory Coast 1-0. And then let's look at the other group. We have Tunisia, they lost to DR Congo. Tanzania, they lost to DR Congo 2-0, while Guinea hammered Ethiopia 3-0. And then in Group I, we have Guinea-Bissau and Mali ending on a goalless draw. And then for Group K, we have South Sudan, they lost to Uganda 2-1. Congo and South Africa played a 1-1 draw. Now the last group is that group of Senegal, that's Group L, where they beat Malawi 1-0. Before you guys will react to it, let's just do it back to back. Let's look at the 8 teams that already make it through to the AFCON. 8 teams that made it through. Now I have Congo, Senegal, Egypt, Angola, Cameroon, Algeria, Burkina Faso, and Morocco, who are the host. Morocco qualified automatically. That's why they are involved in the qualifiers, because of their hosting right. Now, we have seen 8 teams. Unfortunately, because of Libyans' inhuman attitude, the Super Eagles, because we believed Super Eagles would have gotten a win at their home ground. Now, Super Eagles have been among this team, but we have seen 8 teams already through, the big boys through to AFCON 2025.
Congratulations to the 8 teams that have already qualified. Unfortunately, our darling Super Eagles would have been among the, would have made the number 9 of, on the list, but then what happened, hindered us. But well, it's a big lesson, and when the reschedule is finally fixed, we dig it out.
Okay, we should do. Franklin, I want to react to those results, and then the 8 teams that have already qualified. The Super Eagles, unfortunately, is not there, our own darling Super Eagles, but we are still on the driving seat. What's your take on the results and then the 8 teams that have already qualified? Can you hear me?
Fantastic ones for those teams that have qualified. Congratulations to them, the likes of Egypt, the likes of Cameroon, the likes of Congo, and the likes of Senegal. No surprise. These are teams that have either played in the AFCON finals and won, or teams that have played in the semi-finals. So they are actually household names. Not forgetting the likes of Burkina Faso as well, and Congo Sahel, then in 1996, where they went as far as the semi-finals in the AFCON. So it's a good one. Algeria also makes the squad. But then, just like you did say earlier, and also man right there with you in the studio, saying that if Nigeria had played against Libya and won, it would have been Nigeria topping the teams that have qualified for the 2025 African Cup of Nations, and that will be going down sometime next year. But all in all, we look ahead to those teams that will be making the court later today and in subsequent round of fixtures, especially on the match day 5, which we look interesting. But the 2 results actually really broke my heart as a sport journalist, though I didn't see those results coming. For the likes of Côte d'Ivoire, defending champions, losing our way to the Lone Stars of Sierra Leone This is the beauty of African football. You never say never, and neither do you write over your opponent, regardless of their rating in the FIFA ranking. And of course, our Ghanaian brothers, first, yesterday it was one hell of a fight on the social media handle.
Okay, he was trying to actually talk about okay.
We didn't play with to make sure that the team got their own pound of flesh. But all in all, a fantastic result yesterday.
Okay, but for the Black Stars of Ghana, Wilfred, they are also having their own fair share of problem. Now, with the waiting stands, let's have that result again. Let's have that result, mostly that of the Black Stars of Ghana. With the waiting stands, they are on the verge of not qualifying. They are in Group F. They lost to Sudan, and they have had I think back-to-back draws. They lost at the Baba Yara Stadium, and after that now back-to-back draws with one loss included. So I don't know.
It shows you how African football has changed. They had a draw at home, which led to the fans' furious reactions, destruction of some.
That was even a loss before the draw.
Valuables in the stadium, and then they drew prior to this yesterday's result, and then they lost yesterday away to Sudan, which has thrown a very big question that there's something that is not adding up quite well with the Black Stars, considering the caliber of players they have in their team, the likes of Kudus, Williams,
Thomas Partey,
Nico Williams and co. So, but if you also want to consider some other factors, you look at it very well that African football is no more how it used to be in the past, where bigger teams always have the day. So it's that things have actually changed over the period of time. A lot of players, a lot of teams have improved, having a very sound technical dugout, and then sometimes as I always mention, a good result, a favorable result goes down to the discipline, the team discipline, and the technical input of of the coach and the technical staff. So for Ghana, maybe they should have just come back, sit down, and then have a safe appraisal and find out what is not adding up, so that maybe they can
move up.
If there's a possible chance for them to qualify, but I doubt as it stands now. But this is not the first time that the Super Eagles in the past failed to qualify, for Nations Cup. So when a big team like this, like Ghana, like Nigeria, or all the African giants, when a big team of that category, fails to qualify for the championship, throws a bigger question. It creates an awareness. It awakens a lot of the sleeping giants.
Yes.
So that you cannot always have the day. So
yeah, of course.
It is what it is.
Okay, it is what it is. With the Black Stars of Ghana, they lost to South Sudan in that particular game, and this time around, let's leave the AFCON and come back home. We are going straight to the Nigerian Premier Football League. It is midweek games, but the story before we look at the fixtures, the midweek fixtures. Rangers eyes victory over Kano Pillars at their home ground in Enugu. Now, Franklin, I will start with you. For Rangers International, they lost their game match day 6, and they are looking forward to this particular game against a team that has won the NPFL 4 good times.
Yes, it's going to be a very interesting game. Defending champions Enugu Rangers against one of the most difficult sides to beat at home. Talking about the Sunny Abato Stadium right there in Kano. Looking forward to this game. I want to see what Coach Fidelis Ilechukwu's team will definitely have in stock for Ahmed Musa's team. So Ahmed Musa is a return to the Nigerian Premier Football League. Has been interested. In his first game, he got the brace, even though he missed a penalty, but he was voted the man of the match. It was an interesting game. And then in the second game, he couldn't get a goal. Kano Pillars played out the goalless draw. And this will be his third game for Kano Pillars. I intend to see a very good game with the likes of Radio Ali, the captain of Kano Pillars, I want to see what he will be telling his fellow teammates to go all out against the defending champions, who is looking hungry and hungry at the same time. They haven't really done well so far in the league, even though we can say it is still early days, but we know what it is in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Get the result as early as possible, be among the top 2, top 3 teams, and see how you can add more to your way into retaining the league. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint, so I expect a very good game. So far in the Nigerian Premier Football League, officiating has been excellent. Though we can't say perfect, but it has been excellent. So far, no crowd violence, no teams are complaining either away or home team about poor or terrible officiating. But it's going to be an interesting game for me. I want to see end-to-end football. I want to see a tactics. I also want to see what the defending champions can be able to galvanize against Carolina later today at 4 p.m.
Okay, let's quickly have the full fixtures of the midweek games in the Nigerian Premier Football League, and then I will speak with Wilfred in the studio. Lobby Stars will be at the adopted home ground in Nasarawa State, that is at the Lafia Township Stadium, to welcome Academy Warriors of Borno. Enugu Rangers will battle Kano Pillars, where they will be at Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium. They are the defending champions of the league, last season winners. That's for Enugu Rangers. And the Niger Tornadoes will visit Aba to face Enyimba, while Kwara United will be at their stadium in Ilorin to welcome Sunshine Stars. That's the Southwest Derby. And Nasarawa United plays Abia Warriors. Now, these are the games, midweek games in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Fantastic. We've been seeing a lot of improvement in the Nigerian Premier Football League since the beginning of last season, and even before last season, and then last season, and then we are seeing that massive improvement and changes also this season.
Yeah, there have been quite an improvement in terms of officiating. Away games, home games, results are no more automatically, decided, unlike how it used to be in the past. And for Lobby Stars, I think the action they took, by changing the chairman to the new chairman, and
they're having a new coach,
the new coach in the class of Daniel Omokachi, legendary personality here at the Bull. I think it's beginning to pay off, snatching an away draw against a top team, and a top side like Niger Tornadoes, and then playing at home, it will also be an additional motivation to them. But for Enugu Rangers and Kano Pillars, it's going to be a cracker. Why do I say so? Enugu Rangers are defending champions, and Kano Pillars, they have the likes of the Super Eagles captain, as far as, because he said
he has not retired internationally.
So his team very much involved, and they lost away to Akwa United 2-0, so the wound is still fresh in their heart. And having the likes of Ahmed Musa, the Super Eagles, standing captain,
old man himself, legendary MPFL.
MPFL number 10, Rabiu, famous number 10, Rabiu Ali, and Shehu Abdullahi, this former Super Eagles, the SY Super Eagles, right back, midfielder, so it's going to be a top one, and a tough one, to watch out for in the Coast City, because they're going to be away to the defending champions. And I think I must commend the organization. I must commend the league management.
That is led by Legbele.
Yeah, Legbele, because there've been a lot of improvement. I must confess this. There've been a lot of improvement in terms of officiating, in terms of players' welfare.
Even publicity to an extent.
Publicity, and even some logistic arrangement, and how we used to hear in the past where teams get stuck while traveling on the way and everything. So there's still much more room for us to improve. There's still much more room for us to get more to be done, and then let's see how the league once again be put on the global map. So I think it's a very wonderful one.
Okay, it's a wonderful one for the Nigerian Premier Football League. We've seen massive improvement from day one. We see teams getting away win, and also home teams. If you are not prepared, you get beaten at your home ground, or better still, you pull a draw. I think we still want to improve. Like Wilfred said, there's still room for improvement, and we can at least grow from here. Get it better with the Nigerian Premier Football League. Let's still dwell on the league a little bit quickly. For you, Franklin, which outside Rangers and Kano Pillars, which other match is your pick of the midweek games? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. I'm looking at the game between Lobby Stars and El Kanemi Warriors. Lobby Stars at the Lafayette Township Stadium, if I'm not mistaken. They will be playing against El Kanemi Warriors. Now, if you look at El Kanemi Warriors, a team that gained promotion from the NL a couple of months ago, the defending champions of the Presidential Federation Cup, they will be playing away to Lobby Stars. And El Kanemi Warriors, in 5 games, they have just gotten 1 win and 4 draws. They are known as the king of draws. And they have the highest numbers of draws so far in the NPFL this season. And for a Lobby Stars, surprisingly, they are seated just at the 19th position as women in the murky waters of relegation, just ahead of Ikorodu City with just 2 points. 1 point, I beg your pardon. They have 5 points from 5 games and from 6 games, while Ikorodu City have 4 points from 6 games. It's one game I want to see where the pendulum of success will definitely swing. I do not predict a draw in this game. Perhaps the most hungrier team, the more hungrier team will definitely get the result. Either El Kanemi Warriors, king of draws, and Lobby Stars, king of away against. Also last season, they played away from their legendary stadium at the Sana Apeku Stadium in Benue State. They have been playing at a natural state also last season, and so far this season. So I expect a very good game.
Okay, for my own pick, you guys have picked your own games. I think my own pick will be between Sunshine Stars and Kwara United, because this is a Southwest game, despite Kwara United at least associating with the Arewas, but I think that's going to be my own pick in the Nigerian Premier Football League. But one key area, let me come back to you, Wilfred. One key area in the Nigerian Premier Football League that I must commend is the officiating. And now, at the beginning of this season, the league organizers came out and there has been increment in referees' allowance, and they are paid immediately. As in, once they sound the final whistle, their bank account just at least that sound, beep, beep, or whatever sound their phone can give.
That's a very wonderful motivation for the referees and the association. But yes, I think as I keep emphasizing, there's been a lot of improvement in other areas, but I think in that area of officiating, precisely, there's been a rapid improvement, because seeing big teams losing at home, drawing at home, shows it all. It has actually spoken well of how they improved. The referee organization has changed their mind towards how they used to behave in the past. And for the Kwara United Sunshine, there's one man who is so familiar with the terrain, Kennedy Boboye. He cannot take away that from this. Kwara United should be wary of that man, because the man that understands the in and out of the game, and he's so quite familiar with
those two teams.
So let's see what the outcome is. But if you ask me, they might end up having in a draw.
Okay, Kwara United Sunshine Stars of Akure, where Wilfred predicted a draw. But let's see how those games pans out this afternoon, and the other games will come up by 4 p.m. Nigerian time. Let's leave the shores of the country and quickly go straight to Europe. We'll just take the UEFA Nations League result, and then we'll look at one big story. It's a shocker to so many, but it is what it is. When you are out of job, when you know your onions, at least your employers look for you. Okay, let's take the UEFA Nations League result quickly, and we'll be back to that story. Poland and Croatia in Group 1 ended on 3-3 draw, 6-goal thriller in that game. And then Scotland and Portugal, McTominay, and then against his former teammate Cristiano Ronaldo. Both of them have left Manchester United, though. They played the goalless draw. And then in Group 2, we have Kosovo trashed Cyprus 3-0. Lithuania lost to Romania 2-1. And Luxembourg and Belarus played a 1-1 draw in Group 3. And then Northern Ireland hammered, demolished Bulgaria 5-0. And then in Group 4, Spain beat Serbia 3-0. Switzerland and Denmark played a 2-2 draw. That is the result for the UEFA Nations League rest. Let's go straight to the big story. Like I said, Thomas Tuchel accepts the Three Lions job. That is England managerial job. Wow. I for one didn't see this coming. I thought Thomas Tuchel would be maybe Manchester United or probably go to one of these clubs that is having issues with their managers. But now accepting accepting the Three Lions job, and this is one of the most delicate and dicey job in the world.
Will I say, it's for the paycheck? I don't know, because I don't know how ready he is mentally, psychologically, and physically. Because as far as I'm concerned, he has not had a smooth, run, in the game in the recent time. After, he was relieved, from Paris Saint-Germain, the French giant, down to Chelsea. He was, sent down the pecking order, and shown the exit door, and then moved to, the Bavarians, the Bundesliga giant. And then he was also relieved of his job. So I don't know, if he's really ready for this challenge, because coming to to accept a sensitive job, in a team like, the Three Lions, where all eyes, are projected on. I think he should understand what is not just about the paycheck, but what will happen if he fails to meet the expectations. But life is all about taking up some challenges and proving your doubters wrong. So
okay,
good one.
That's what Thomas Tuchel will do with the Three Lions of England. We are out of time, but before we go, let's look at this story quickly. We will not talk about it, just take it. Where Manchester United target Bayern Munich defender Alphonso Davies. All right, that is where we will be leaving it on the show 360 Sports. Thanks to Franklin Imona, who joined on the show, and then to you, Wilfred Chiando, coming on the show. It's a good one having the two of you on 360 Sports.
My pleasure, Mr. Fash.
Okay, that is it on the program. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Say thanks for watching.
Absolute honor is